Boker Tov from Israel. In the early 1900s, there was a family, Jewish family living in Russia, and the husband traveled for work, and while he was out at work, his wife sends him a message and says, "The land is frozen. I cannot dig up the land. There is, and if I can't dig up the land, I can't plant the potatoes, and we won't have any food." And he writes back to her immediately, says, "Do not touch the ground. Do not dig up the ground. I hid underneath the ice over there. I hid our guns and hand grenades. Do not do it." She reads the letter, and 5 minutes later, the Russian police is over there, and they're there with heavy machinery, and they start digging up the whole yard, and they cannot find any weapons over there. He writes to her after that and says, "Now you can plant the potatoes." This week's parasha, this week's Shabbat, we read Shabbat Nachamu. Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. We read about the Churban, the destruction of the temple. And with the destruction of the temple, we have the story from the end of the Gemara of Makot, where Rabbi Akiva and other rabbis are in Yerushalayim, and they go and they see the temple is destroyed, and they start crying, and Rabbi Akiva starts to laugh. And they say, "Why are you laughing?" And he says, "Why are you crying?" And they say, the holiest place in the world, the place where the Kohen Gadol used to walk out from, now instead of the Kohen Gadol, we have foxes running through there. Rabbi Akiva says, "This is exactly why I'm laughing." He says, "I wasn't sure that all of the prophecies would come true. There's a prophecy that Hashem will return and build the Beit HaMikdash from the destructions." And he says, and we knew that the temple is destroyed, but now to see how destroyed it is, that foxes are running through it, became so destroyed, so mundane. To see that, I know that if the first prophecy of that the temple will be destroyed happened, then 100% the second prophecy, the prophecy that Hashem will rebuild the temple, that Hashem will come back, that will definitely happen. And therefore I'm happy. And they say, "Akiva nichamtanu." Thank you, Akiva, you have restored faith to us. And because of that, because it was Rabbi Akiva, they're able to be redeemed. Now, why is it so important that it's Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva only started learning to read and later on to learn Torah at the age of 40. Up until then, he knew nothing. And Rabbi Akiva shows us that from hardship, from a place that you're down, that's where we grow from. We manage to grow from there. And Rabbi Akiva looks at the destruction and says, now we can start building. Only when our field is destroyed, now we can start to plant. Up until then, we can't. Be'ezrat Hashem, from all of the sorrow and pain that we've been through, not only in the past 2 years, but in the past 2,000 years of our history, Be'ezrat Hashem, from all of that pain and sorrow, we'll be able to grow and be a real, true light upon the nations as we are supposed to be. And we'll be able to do that because of everything we've been through. Not despite it, but in spite of it, we'll be able to do all of these amazing things. And we'll be able to build Beit HaMikdash very soon in our days. Shabbat Shalom.